Today is in Taurus. Last time I checked. Yep. The moon is about to be new in the Cancer. Yeah, that's when we move into the sun being in Cancer as well. New moon, the 21st of June, so on Sunday at 08:41 from Norway's perspective. And it's going to be a solar eclipse. Interesting. Okay, so two cards have been presenting themselves from this beautiful deck of cards. Today we're at the 18th, so okay, I feel these cards for today and those cards for Cancer season, or the solar moon eclipse. 3 days until the new moon. Alright. I'm going to start with the cards for today. The Time Master and the Mystical Shaman again, this time in reverse. Interesting. And they kind of look, let me make sure I'm looking at the camera. They kind of look the same. There we go. But this kind of looks like him more in person, and this looks like him in spirit more. So okay. So let's start with the Mystical Shaman again, since he came up for the second time. The Essence. This is the symbol of the myth maker and storyteller who is neither made of nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, perceives all aspects of it. In doing so, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. He dances between worlds, wearing the cloak of the world loosely around his shoulders, and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be in the world and travel through it, but not to be defined by it or become too attached to the experience. This is the symbol of true alchemy, for all elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. When we remember this, all manner of miracles and manifestations are possible. I feel like the beautiful energy that is communicated through the essence of this card that I'm reading from the book is I feel like it's an awareness that is easier to be in when you are in stillness. And I was just thinking about how I don't sit in stillness enough, I feel, or especially now in relation with this, but I think in general as well. All right, so next, because it was in reverse, came out upside down, you can either read, when it comes out upright, you can read the invitation, and because it was in reverse, I'll be reading the medicine. Shu. The medicine. Be careful what you pray for. The mystical shaman cautions you against relentless attachment to a certain form that you think will make you happy, prosperous, famous, loved, etc. However, in seeing your dream come into life, had you considered what you were willing to sacrifice for it? The way sacrifice has been coming up, girl. Perhaps you have been telling yourself a certain story for so long. The story that only when you reach this particular goal will you be happy, that you will arrive. You didn't even notice. You're no longer the person who wanted those outcomes. You may have moved beyond those stories. Perhaps it's time to admit to yourself that you need to imagine a new story that is more in alignment with who you have become. This is just one moment in millions of moments in the continuum of life, of a life. Continuum? Let it go. Let it be just a story and move on. Better tales are waiting to be told. Wow. That's so okay. So that came together with the Time Master, which in itself, just knowing the name of that, the Time Master, it's also like it's beautiful how that relates with this to even appreciate the aspect of time and how things do move, things do evolve, revolve, revolution, evolution, and choice. I feel like choice is important for me right now. And even what they were saying about, or what was written about choosing, what are you willing to sacrifice for it? Making a choice to sacrifice something and then seeing what are you willing and able to sacrifice. And I think it's important to remember, what are you sacrificing for? What are you sacrificing for? So even sacrificing an old story for a new one. Sacrificing old beliefs for new ones. Old feelings for new ones. Old practices for new ones. Old energies for new ones. And as you sacrifice for me, the way I see it, you open up, there's space for new to come in. Alright, so the Time Master. Card number 57. The Essence. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. It's just an illusion. Illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. Love that. The invitation. It landed this way, so I'm going to read all of it. When the Time Master visits you, he asks a most important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond a linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? Woof. You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the true test of the Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power, so let go of the past and choose to step into your life. Okay. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the Time Master. Anything is possible right now. Okay, she just said, anything is possible now. All right, so we're going to read it, the medicine of this card. It's such a beautiful card. Okay, I'll give it upside down. Upside down, you turn me. Sometimes it appears that you are running out of time. You worry you won't get what you need or want. Everything gets stuck like a log jam. This is only in your mind. Time expands and contracts according to your ability to be mindful and observant, fully engaging in your now. It's time to release the story of your past. Equally, it's time to release your need to know the details of the future. All the treasure magically reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what is directly in front of you and nothing else. Then, you realize you have all the time in the world. You will never run out of it. I love it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. So I don't know if it's specifically for Cancer season or just for now, but we have Pachamama in reverse and the Ancient Ones. There's this swooshing, like I feel like because of this right here. I keep hearing rise. Even these are called uprise, which I saw again today. And I feel rise, like there's a, see her position. It's like she's rising, coming up, resurfacing, re-emerging, refining even. Like the word refining came up for me a couple weeks ago as well, where it's like you're refining when you're refining something. So you have this is what the oracle deck is called, of the deck that I'm using. You have this box that you're making and you're refining it, so you're like polishing it and refining, making sure it looks as good as it can. But then also when you hear the words refining, for me it's also like you're refinding, rediscovering. So it's finding back to something that you've been with before, refining. And it's almost like the self refines itself through these cycles of events, and like the divine feminine moves back for the divine masculine to move forth and into an experience, and then the divine masculine moves back and the divine feminine moves forth for it to, and there's like this element of, or this like, for me, I observe it as this cycle of refining. And like the experience sometimes of, for my own self, where I felt lost, and then it's like I refine that I was never lost. But in the process of thinking I was lost, I learned so much and I grew so much, and there's like a refining energy. Does that make sense? I like that. Yeah. Sure. That's what I'm getting from these two. And again, like the divine feminine right now, in case you didn't notice, is yeah, there's some stuff going on. Some things that have been going on in the dark that are coming to light. And I feel like things are harmonizing, things are balancing. Um, the ancient ones, the divine mother, and even the divine father, like the wisdom that resides within the ancient ones, right? The wisdom, the the things that they have observed. It's the wisdom. It's yeah.